After a decade of time-traveling romance and epic adventure, the cast of Outlander is ready to bring their iconic characters' journeys to a close. Today at Collider, we'll dive deep into the cast's reflections on their performances and what it's been like to shoot the final season.
You all right, madam? I almost trampled you.
Catriona Balfe's portrayal of Claire Fraser has evolved over 8 years, with the character balancing her roles as a doctor, mother, and wife. In the final season, this complexity deepens as Claire also carries the emotional burden of witnessing the darkest sides of humanity through her time travels. Balfe has previously stated that getting into character involved intense research and a deep understanding of her character's emotional journey. As a 20th century surgeon thrust into the 18th century, Claire had to maintain a strong connection to her modern roots while also adapting to a world very different from her own. Balfe would spend time researching the role of women in 18th century Scotland and used resources to understand how a woman with Claire's knowledge would navigate a world where her skills were seen as unconventional. She would apply this same outlook with every new decade the show took her character to.
You think I belong to you and you can't stand for someone to have something else that belongs to you.
In the final season, Claire will confront the very real impacts of her choices and the trauma of her past, but also embrace the future. What's particularly poignant is how Balfe, who has grown with the character over the years, has found a new depth in her performance, opting for more subtle expressions to display Claire's emotional journey. She also has found that the relationship between Claire and Jamie has evolved. In the early seasons, it was all about passion and connection. But now, there's a quiet, profound understanding between them. The heart of Outlander has always been Claire and Jamie's relationship, but in the final season, Balfe hints, they get to explore something deeper. They've both been through so much, and now they're at a point in their lives where they're no longer fighting for survival, but fighting for each other and for what they've built together. And it's clear that Catriona's performance in the last season is a reflection of that, full of emotional gravitas and a sense of bittersweet finality. It's not just a job for her at this point, it's a deeply personal journey.
What are you doing?
I thought...
Think again.
Sam Heughan's portrayal of Jamie Fraser has captivated audiences from the very beginning. Over the seasons, Jamie's journey from a young, carefree man to a battle-hardened warrior and loving father has been nothing short of extraordinary. But now, as the show prepares to wrap up, Sam has had to confront Jamie's legacy and what that means in the final season. Jamie's journey has been one of learning, evolving, and surviving. He's seen the worst of humanity, and yet he's always had a strong moral compass. But as the series nears its end, Jamie is at a crossroads. He's lived through so much loss and so much pain, but what's incredible is that, even at this stage in his life, he still has the capacity for growth. The final season will really highlight Jamie's transition from being a warrior to someone who has to find peace with the life he's led. Heughan often emphasizes that Jamie's experiences with loss and pain made him more human and allowed him to ground his performance in reality, despite the fantastical element of time travel.
How do you stop two dogs from fighting without getting chewed up yourself?
In order to get into character, Heughan trained extensively to portray Jamie's physicality, starting with sword fighting, horseback riding, and hand-to-hand combat. He would analyze how his imprisonment in the early seasons and the death of loved ones, such as his parents, informed Jamie's emotional arc. Thanks to his preparation, Heughan brings a sense of quiet wisdom to Jamie. Heughan has previously stated that the deep love between the two main characters is the driving force behind everything Jamie does. Over time, Heughan moved beyond the passionate, impulsive man we first met in Season 1 to a more measured, mature, and thoughtful man who has been shaped by his experiences, but who still holds on to that fierce love for Claire and his family. Heughan mentions that there's a sense of finality to last season, and that Jamie knows the end is near, whether it's for him or for the world he's fought so hard to protect. But there's peace in that too. He's at a point where he can embrace that love for his family and for Claire without the same urgency he once had. It's a quiet, reflective approach that makes Jamie's journey feel even more impactful. Sam's evolution as an actor is clear as he's learned to balance Jamie's stoic warrior persona with the tender husband, father, and leader we see in the final season.
Stand down! Stand down! All you!
While Claire and Jamie's journey may be front and center, Briana and Roger have become two of the most essential characters in the later seasons of Outlander. Sophie Skelton and Richard Rankin's performances as Briana and Roger have evolved just as much, if not more, as their characters have. Briana's journey has been really interesting. She started out as a woman from the 20th century, trying to find her way in a very unfamiliar, dangerous world. But over the years, we've seen her mature, grow, and evolve. In the final season, Briana is no longer just the daughter of Claire and Jamie, which reflects her transformation into a more independent and self-assured character. She's her own woman. She's a mother, a wife, and she has her own sense of purpose. As Skelton said, Briana is in a real good place and she's been through so much and survived so much, and however this season ends, at least I know that in her soul, she's the woman that she's wanted to be. And I feel like that's a very peaceful place to leave a character.
Well, you're here.
We only came up for the day so Mother could pay her respects.
In order to develop her character, Skelton said that she really dove into author Diana Gabaldon's detailed character descriptions in the Outlander books. But she has admitted that Briana's emotional evolution was one of the most challenging aspects of her performance. Briana faced a lot of self-doubt in the earlier seasons as she navigated the complexities of being in the 18th century and dealing with the trauma of losing her parents to time travel. In later seasons, Skelton has emphasized that Briana became a more confident, grounded woman, one who was willing to confront her flaws. And with her aging from a teenager to a mother, Skelton focused on portraying her increasing sense of responsibility with each passing season, especially in her interactions with her husband Roger and their children.
Well, once we do, you'll go back to Boston.
Roger's evolution has been similarly complex. He was thrust into this world and had to quickly adapt. But in the final season, there's a sense of resolution for him. He's found his place within the Fraser family and truly understands the gravity of his situation. There's no more doubting his role or his place in history. For Roger, it's about finding peace with the past and looking forward to what's next. In order for him to develop the character, Rankin needed to break down Roger's complexity. Rankin believed that Roger's arc became one of accepting his own worth. As a historian and time traveler who marries Briana, Rankin worked hard to ensure that Roger's emotional depth, especially in his relationship with Briana, felt authentic and earned. He focused on portraying the character's emotional vulnerability, particularly in his struggles with fatherhood and his place in the family's legacy. Skelton and Rankin's character's growth is one of the most significant changes in the final season. Where Briana once struggled to find her identity and place in the 18th century, now she is embracing it. And Roger, who had often felt like an outsider, now truly feels like he belongs. Their dynamic is more grounded and mature, as both actors bring a depth to their performances that reflects this growth.
Make up your mind. I need time.
With the final season of Outlander comes the bittersweet realization that this is the end of a journey that has spanned years of dedication, passion, and growth. The cast has shared how emotional the experience has been for them and how saying goodbye to these characters has been both difficult and cathartic.